How are you going to leverage the relationships that you have cultivated your years of experience in the education system, particularly in Guilford County Schools?
Well, throughout working in public politics or municipalities, you develop relationships with people. I got friends on the Board of Commissioners, I got friends on the school board, I got friends in both city councils. I served on Guilford County Economic Development Alliance, where the three entities, the county, Greensboro, and High Point, combined to do some economic development work. I would pull on the resources and those folks that I've met and try to get them to help me fight the difficult fights. It's easy to fight the easy fights, but every once in a while you're going to have situations where you have to give a little to get what you want. And I'm okay with that as long as it's not at the expense of the kids.
What are your recommendations in engaging families with regards to local education on an individual and a community-wide basis?
Well, what I would do personally, if I'm elected to the Guilford County School Board, is I would hold quarterly town hall meetings, and I would put out an electronic newsletter at least once a month, just for the sole purpose of informing parents and kids of what's going on with us, what big votes are coming up, what issues we're having, so that nobody will ever be blindsided by what this board does.
How do you feel about utilizing capital gain from the state lottery program, and how would you channel those resources to implement them in our school system in Guilford County?
I think when it comes to the state lottery, the way the monies are dispersed now, the public school system is not getting enough of those dollars for us to see a difference. A lot of people realize when the lottery started several years ago, we had these high expectations of how it was going to save our schools, and when we look at our schools continue to deteriorate. Now I understand a lot of them dollars go to the community college so that we can have a ready workforce for the jobs of the future. But that doesn't matter if we're losing kids in our public school system. So I would get together with multiple people, because this is something we cannot do as a county. This is a state thing. All the municipalities have to get together and express to the state what the needs are so that they can restructure how them dollars are spent. Because a lot of our problems, we can't do it on our own. We're going to need state and federal help. And that's a big chunk of dollars that we could use to help our schools.
How do you plan on developing and or deepening relationships attained with institutions of higher learning on a local, statewide, and national level?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. How do you plan on developing or deepening relationships attained with institutions of higher learning on a local, statewide, and national level?
Well, on the local level, I think that all of our local high schools especially need to have a relationship with local colleges. And that serves two purposes. There comes times when there's a class that we may not have access to at our particular school. Our kids should be given the opportunity to go take that on a college campus. On the state level, what we have to do is make sure that our curriculum lines up with the future curriculums of them universities. Our kids do not need to leave high school and be totally unprepared for college. We need to have that relationship so they can say this is what colleges are looking for this particular curriculum. So if someone, for instance, wants a career in healthcare, they need to have a high school track that's going to take them to a career in healthcare. If they got a career that they're looking at going into economics, they need to have a high school track that will lead them there. So we need to look at constantly revamp our curriculum and restructure it continuously so that our kids are always prepared for the future.
All right. I read a social media post which stated, when equilibrium exists, the board can focus on high-level policies and goals and decide with the superintendent on how progress will be measured. But when the superintendent has to deal with a domineering and micromanaging board that lacks confidence in him or her, that is a recipe for dysfunction. What do you say about that quote?
That is absolutely a recipe for dysfunction. I think as a board, and we have a superintendent in place, we have to trust that that superintendent is going to go about doing her job in a proper and efficient way. If we get in the business of micromanaging them, when things don't work, it's not her fault or his fault, it's our fault. Our job is to support whoever's in that position to the best of our ability. And then the people who control the hiring process, they determine if she did a good job or a bad job. Our job is to support her. We present to her what we want done, and she makes it happen under her own skill sets, her own influences, and things of that nature. But absolutely, that's a recipe for dysfunction if we try to micromanage any of our superintendents.
Thank you. Well, that concludes our interview for today, Jeff, and I thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.